me do this second example that after I did this example 2A, I'm going to do example 2B now. This is still on page 137. I want you to notice that our A, our A is still 1, like it was before. Our B is different. It's -7, but our C is also still 6. So we're doing the exact same A and C as we did in example A. So we've already got our pairs, our factors from over here, numbers that multiply to 6. But now we need the pair to add to -7. Last time we needed the pair to add to 5, so we used 2 and 3. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to look at which of these pairs might add to -7, and I've found one. Bingo. Right there. So I'm going to split my middle term, and I'm going to write, instead of -7x squared, I'm going to write -1x, not squared, sorry, -7x, -1x minus 6x plus 6. You don't have to write this 1 as the coefficient. You can leave it off if you want. But I have now two terms that when you combine them, you do get -7x. But this enables me, again, to do that 4-term grouping method. So we're going to look at these two and these two. I've got a negative sign here, so that's going to bring up a negative, something that we're going to have to take care of, if you remember from before. So I've got an x in common in these first two terms. What's left is x minus 1. This negative sign comes down. That leaves a positive, and yeah, I do this every time, right? I have to go get the eraser. How silly for me is that? I'm going to take out a -6, which is going to leave me with a positive x on the inside and a -1, because -6 times -1 will get me back to this original -6. Now, I factor again. I take out the common factor, x minus 1. What does that leave me with? X minus 6. And this is my answer. So although my A and my C were the same as this problem right here, you can see because the B is wildly different, my answers are wildly different. But you can multiply back and satisfy yourself that you can FOIL this thing back or double distribute and get back to where we started from. Let's flip to the next page real quick and do another pair of examples. I'm going to write these, actually, okay, so I'll identify A is 1, B is 1, and C is -6. And over here, of course, A is 1, B is -1, and C, again, is -6. So again, our A and our C are the same, so AC is equal to -6. So 1 times -6, 1 times -6. So we're looking for the pairs, the factor pairs, that when you multiply them, you can get -6. So let's think about 1 and -6. That product is -6. You could also have -1 and +6 and get -6. Another pair is -2 and +3 and -3 and +2. All four of those pairs get you the product that you're looking for. So if we look at our B over here, we need to look at the pair that when you add them together, you get a +1. So if I'm looking, this guy right here adds to +1. So again, I'm going to split the middle term, and instead of a +1x, I'm going to write it -2x plus 3x. Because when you combine those, you get a +1x and -6 on the back end. Group the first two, group the back two, and take out the common factor of x, and you get x minus 2. Take out the common factor of 3, and you also get x minus 2, which is what you're looking for. X minus 2 and x plus 3 being your final answer. And of course, on the quiz, on the test, you would multiply this back to make sure that you can get back to your original trinomial. Let's do this one quickly. We don't have to start all over on this one because we have our factors for -6. But now our guy needs to add, the sum needs to be -1, not +1. So that is going to be this guy. So when we split our middle term, we're going to have x squared minus 3x plus 2x minus 6. Now you might ask me, does it matter what order? Can I write plus 2x and minus 3x second? Sure you can. The sum of these have to be this middle term, but it doesn't matter which order you put them. So look at the grouping. I see I can factor out a positive x, and I end up with x minus 3. This second pair of terms, I can factor out a positive 2 and end up again with an x minus 3, and then our final factor will be x minus 3 to the outside, x plus 2 to the inside. Okay, I'll finish up this one, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the ones where our coefficient of x squared is not a 1. It's going to get a little more complicated. So see you around the bend.